And I want to welcome you to my channel. It's been quite a while since I've done a video, and for that I apologize. I've been very active in a social life lately and have not had much time to do much of anything, including starting a new job and everything. So that was back in November, but life is good. I wanted to kind of show you some of the stuff I've been working on here. This was actually as of last week. I decided I was probably going to take my Commodore 64 game I wrote right here. I'll show you here. It's this one right here, and actually and show you the code for it. It's actually over here, and kind of explain a breakdown of how that works and everything. So you guys can take a look at that, and I'll kind of go over some of the processes and explain it. I know I did that before on an actual video in here, but one of my goals is eventually take this code here and move it to my website where you can get a better breakdown of how to write your own assembly language games on the Commodore 64. So let's get started on that for now. It might seem boring to some, but assembly language was developed way back in the 70s, probably even before that. And it basically, every computer program will convert into these binary numbers, which basically are assembly language, or machine language if you would. The assembly language is the code you see here that's readable. Machine language is actually the bits, the zeros and the ones that actually translate into all this. So your computer only sees in zeros and ones basically. So anyways, this program was written, you can see back here, on November 17th, 1992, and I had some other things that were added here. I wonder why I said 92 and this says 91. Maybe it was written in 91 because I would have put that date down there, and I guess there are updates I did in 92, so I need to change that. But okay, so these things you see right here, these are the I think they're called equates, if I recall correctly. But actually, if you would think about it basic, these are actually your variables. These are what define what SPX is going to be. It's going to be the number 53248, which is basically the sprite's X position. So if you look over here, and you see this guy right here, that's a sprite. His X position would be anywhere from here to here. This is horizontal, or X. If you think about a graph, X always goes across. Use this way. I hope I'm doing that right mathematically, but X on games always represents horizontal. And this next one here, SPRY, 53249, of course this is his Y position, so this moves him up and down here. So if you see him moving up and down, that's what that's controlling. The next one here, 53258, this is actually, I believe this is one of the other positions for one of the other players, because there's 7 sprites on the Commodore 64. I can't remember which number this is. This is 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe like 6 or 7 or something. And then that's the position for him. And the other position, I was going to use that later to add like enemies in the game, but never got that far yet. Okay, so that's what those do. And this one here is the enable bit. You can see it here, sprite enabled. You have to enable the sprite or you won't see it on the screen. It won't appear, basically. These are pointers. I've explained these before. The pointers kind of show where in memory your sprite is located. I won't go into a lot of examples on that because it involves a little bit more breaking down the bits than that. But basically it just tells where in on the Commodore 64 you're going to find your sprite, where you're going to find sprite number. This is sprite 0, which is 53248, 53249, where you're going to find sprite 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or all 8 from 0 to 7. That's 8 sprites. This one right here, I'm glad I commented these out. This is the color. So this just defines the colors you got for your sprite. And your colors are pretty simple. You can use multicolors, so you can change up the colors, which is the next one here. So you can add your own individual colors by setting the right bits. The next one here, multicolor, we went over that kind of a little bit. This is multicolor enable. You need to enable multicolor like enabling your sprite, otherwise it'll just be one solid color. And this is actually the screen color, 53280. I believe it's this one right here, but I might be mistaken. I just put, I didn't actually put anything, did I? Put Sprite Color, and it actually wouldn't be Sprite Color, that would be Screen Color actually. I think it's the screen border if I'm not mistaken. Because I changed the border here to red, so. This one here is basically some page 0 pointers I have for pointing to other various parts of memory. Okay, so let's see here. This one is another page 0. See, 251 and 252, those are the high and the low bytes, so those are page 0 pointers, and this is another page 0 pointer from 253 to 254. So basically it's a way to do other things in memory, and I think I did that when I was kind of drawing the screen down here. This is the defined, I can't remember what they call these, pointer or something, I can't think of the name, but it's basically the address, I guess you could, in memory where your program's going to begin, and this is beginning at memory location 15000. This one right here will clear the screen. It just goes to this location. Might be able to find it here. Let's see. PLR mem. Might find a few of them here actually. Nope, it's right there. Okay, so if I go down here, I might skip around here a little bit to show you some things. So where'd it go here? Right down there. Okay, so right here, this is clearing memory location. I'm probably going to need a calculator to explain this for people. It's just going to be easy to get lost here. So you just take the 64 plus 8, which is 72, and then you take the 72, it's 256. If I've done that correctly, that should be the location where this starts clearing memory. Yeah, that makes sense because the program started 15.0, so this just started clearing memory. Actually, I calculated it right here, 15.832, if I paid attention there. So that's where you start clearing a memory. And this is just basically going from the low to the high pointer. So if you see this number 6, it's basically just starting this point at 0. I won't go and explain all that before because it can get pretty long video, but basically that's what it's doing, is it's clearing from the high to the low bytes in memory. So not to get too complicated there. This right here actually draws, you can see here it's drawn diverse things. This is drawing our character on the screen here. It's called character 2, character 3. You just kind of name them character 1 all the way up to character 10, which is all the different movements you have. I'll show you here of the sprite. Watch him when he moves around here. I think I moved him around here somewhere. You see him moving around there? Those are all the positions of him, the animation of the sprite moving in his positions each time he moves. You see his legs are kind of crossed there. And this is the Pitbull Harry character I used because it was just more easier to use a sprite that's already defined. So that's what this is all doing. This is drawn down here, if you look closely here also. This is drawing the missiles that get fired out later. Let me see if I can find a point where to shoot the missiles out. Back here. Oops, I'm too far back. It's down here where I started firing the missiles somewhere. I'm explaining the video a lot in here too, so it's not really. Let me go back to the beginning. Maybe it's at the beginning. Run it over again here. There he goes. See the bullets shooting right there? These are the what I call phasers, basically, that he's shooting. See how you shoot in there? So that's basically what that's doing. That's just drawing, and these are saving the areas where they're going to be stored in memory each time. Like I said, on the website, I'll be able to do a much better breakdown for people who are still confused by this, because assembly language is not for the faint of heart. It's pretty complex when you first get into it. I remember it took me a good several months before I was able to roll anything out, really. For a while I was just playing with changing screen colors and kind of searching through memory and doing different stuff like that. And basically that's what this is. Let's see though, this is the character set. I'm sorry, I kind of skipped down here. So I need to probably document this here. I try to like make this easier for people, put more comments in. I believe this is the beginning of the character set. Character set basically defines the characters to make them look like you want. You see how I got my own individual characters? That's a character set. Otherwise it will just be a bunch of whatever you see on your Commodore, A's, B's, Z's, or whatever. And this is defining, I think it's 256 pages. Let's see. Yeah, because I don't have an increment Y in here. So here's some other areas I just defined. One area, this is one area in memory. If I go to C64, I can show you, assuming it exists here. Might not. I don't have the whole program here, but this actually was just to find the data and store it appropriately in memory for that character set, just to kind of draw the graphics. Here's that color you saw earlier, the 53280. So defined plate for it. So 53280, that's the border color. So if you take 53280, comma 2, or poke 53280, let me show you here. Actually, let me just do it up here. Poke 53280, comma 2. You're going to get the red color here for a Commodore 64. If you do that in BASIC, that's basically going to be red. Okay, so these are flags. I don't remember exactly what these are for. I'd like to be able to search through this, but I don't have the whole program here, so I might not be able to figure it out. So they're set for different things in the program. I think they're set for the flipping of the character from one point to the next point on the screen. Because it has to get past the 256 boundary, otherwise it won't. It'll just trap him going so far over and he'll keep flipping in one position. A lot of people in Commodore BASIC kind of first learned about that. So this is 53278. Boy, I could really use my Commodore book over here. I don't know what it is. It's on the floor here, but I don't know where I put it. It's got all the memory locations in it. I should have probably brought that out first, but I didn't prepare myself accurately for this. But anyway, these are I think this is not the collision register. This is something, I can't tell you what it is right now. I'd have to go look them up. I just only knew a few of them. I could probably do a quick Google search on it though. I hate having to be able to just Google when I don't know anything, but we've all done that. Let's say Commodore 64, 53278. It might take me a second to look at it now. Sprite Collision, there you go. So this basically is a Sprite Collision. And it's this pointer setting for when sprites collide. So 53282, this is more positioning of things on the screen. And it tells us this enables our sprite, we must use a pointer. This is the same things you saw earlier up at the top. These are defining the enabling of the sprite. Just basically, this is the setup for your sprite here to get him on the screen and everything. This down here, these are the positions storing in the X, so when you're moving, you can define a starting position from X and Y where he's going to be put anywhere on the screen. This is keeping track of, I don't know what this SPRME is, let's see. SPRME, I don't know. Let me see it up. Oh, it's actually at the top right there. So it's Sprite enabled. There we go. Sprite enabled. Team born. Put that's 5324. One. Never got that, but hey, I said on the web pretty count. Define to be put in, on an actual video. Let's put that date down. If you think you could in memory, where I might skip around